In today's video, we are discussing on how to apply to universities in Canada as an international student, as somebody who is coming from another country to come specifically to study Canada. In today's, this is going to be part one. In this video, we are going to give you an overview, just general information on how to apply, and first and foremost, why study in Canada. Canada is home to over 100 universities, 150 community colleges, and about over 245 private colleges. And they all offer high quality education and cutting edge research. You also have access to a wide range of courses and academic programs. Let me make a point clear. Sometimes in other third world countries, people in these former British colonies, they would refer, say, program of study, say engineering. They would refer to it as a course. And then they would refer like components which you study in engineering as modules or subjects, like say introduction to microelectronics in engineering, or introduction to C++, or they would refer to them as modules. But here in Canada and the United States, say engineering will be your program of study, economics will be your program of study, psychology will be your program of study. Those modules, which you call modules or subjects, say introduction to practical psychology in psychology, will be called courses. We have to make that point clear before we go ahead. While you study in Canada, there is diverse and inclusive culture. You are more likely to meet people from different backgrounds, like myself, not originally from here, and you also meet people from Asia, from India, from Pakistan, from China, from Cambodia, from all countries in South America. About 20 to 22% of people living in Canada were not born in Canada, and also like some of them from East Europe and even from West Europe, from Germany, from Sweden. You meet people from all walks and backgrounds, or even some of them who were born here, they do trace their origin or their ethnic background to other countries. I was talking to a gentleman a moment ago. This Caucasian gentleman, he was saying his parents are from Sweden, but he was born in Nova Scotia. You meet such kind of people. What are the benefits of pursuing education in Canada? They are reputable, high-quality universities listed in the top 7 out of the over 100 plus. We have 7 universities which have this world ranking, the top 200 universities in the world, and 7 of our universities that are in that top ranking. Canadian institutions, they offer a range of programs. There are a number of programs to choose from: psychology, sociology, biology, different disciplines of engineering, computer science, software engineering. There are a number of when we do the next videos, we'll be going on a website of a university and we'll be showing you guys those programs. And also courses. Canadian universities, they offer a wide range of programs and courses, and students can choose a wide variety of courses, programs which fit their interests and career goals. Canadian degrees can open a variety of job opportunities, both in Canada and abroad and internationally and wherever you go in the world. And Canadian education is recognized worldwide, whether in the Eastern world or in the Western world. Another benefit of studying in Canada is like students, they are eligible to work while you are studying during the semester. You can work 20 hours. You are limited to 20 hours during the semester, and you can also work full-time during the break. These are the advantages. Let's recap the advantages, the benefits of pursuing higher education in Canada. This reputable high-quality education Canadian institutions offer a range of programs and courses. Students can choose a field that best suits them and their interests and career goals. Canadian degrees can open doors to a wide variety of job opportunities and high demand industry, both in Canada and internationally, whether it's in Japan, in Australia, in the United States, in Colombia. You can go and work in those countries. And Canada is culturally diverse, as I said before, and say in cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, you meet all people from all walks of life, everybody from under the sun, you meet them. I've met people from China, Japan, Australia, wherever. You can name a country on earth, you get that person in Canada. And about 22% of Canadians were not born here. However, even those who were born here, they would say just they'll be second generation immigrants. Their parents are not from here, or their grandparents are not from here. Oh, my mom's side is from this country. Oh, my dad's side from this country. And also students who study in Canada, they are eligible to work during the semester, given to maximum 20 hours. During the school break, they can work limited hours. Canada offers graduate work permit program, PWPP. International students can stay and work in Canada after completing their studies on a Canadian designated learning institute. Some of the schools which I've mentioned earlier on, like out of those are one or two, but most of the universities are. And some of the private colleges, they don't follow under this designation, designated learning institute given by the government. They wouldn't qualify for the PWPP. What we mean here is after you've completed your education at a Canadian university or any institution or even a community college, some of the community colleges are like the community college we have in this city. It's designated learning institute by the government. After you complete, you are given this PWPP and you can go and work in your field. I understand most of students we have graduated with in recent years with some degrees in software engineering or other computer science or computer related. I know 2-3 students who have been given this PWPP and they've worked, and one of them went on to find a company. And then after that, you can apply to stay in Canada after you have accumulated a certain number of work experience. This is like what I talked in one of the ways to apply to Canada, to legally immigrate to Canada. You get this PWPP, you are working in your field. After you are accrued a certain number of working experience, you can apply a permanent resident in Canada. Then after 3 years as a permanent resident, you can apply for Canadian citizenship. Then you become a Canadian citizen. Let's briefly look at the steps on how to apply to university in Canada. As I said in this video, this is an overview of this process. We do not go into detail of, we'll be doing other videos after this one. Steps for applying to a university in Canada. The first and foremost, we recommend that you research. Make sure that you understand your academic and your personal goals. As I said, there are over 100 universities in Canada. We have 10 provinces and 3 territories. And we have Quebec, which is French speaking, and we have the rest of Canada, which are English speaking. In Ontario, we have institutes which are bilingual. In this city here, there are 2 universities. One of the universities offer courses or programs in both languages, French and English. You have to research what exactly are your academic and personal goals. Once you have researched, you have narrowed down the university, then you can now proceed to go and submit an application to that university. Choose a school which is strong in the programs you're interested in. What do we mean here? You find in Canada certain schools tend to be strong in certain program. Like one of the universities here, which I will not mention it at this stage, is very good in software. Or you'd find another university which is in Quebec, but the teaching is in English. It's an English university in Quebec, very good in medicine. Now you have researched, find out exactly what are you interested. Say suppose you want accounting. There are schools that offer very good accounting degrees, which are best known for that. You have to gravitate towards these schools. Now, after you have chosen the school, you have to know that apart from tuition, books, and on-campus incidental expenses, you also have to find out about the cost of living in the location of your school. In Toronto, things they tend to be a little bit more expensive than in this city or in Montreal, or say in British Columbia. Let me back off a little bit and explain. Out of 10 provinces in Canada, our cost of living tends to differ from one province to another. As I said in the other video, that Canadian provinces are independent states, semi-independent state within independent countries within a country. In certain provinces, gasoline for your car is expensive. Cost of transport is expensive. Food is expensive. Our cost of living tend to vary from one province to another. When you have chosen your school, find out a little bit about cost of living in that city. The location of your university, find out about the cost of living. Of course, you have to find out the accommodation. You have to find out the fees you pay to the school. You have also to find out the cost of accommodation on campus. And you also have to find out generally the surrounding, the cost of living in that location, in that city. You also have to find out about student activities, extracurricular activities, clubs, and networks. When you come here, you won't be homesick. At least you have some activities where you go and meet friends, meet people whom you to connect with, so that you don't become isolated and start feeling homesick and having loneliness. And also, we ask that you conduct a research on admission requirements and language proficiency, grades, and the deadline for submitting applications. We'll also be doing a video where we'll go into details about those things. But also, about language, they are standardized language testing. We have this one here, which is International English Language Testing System, and we have TOEFL, TOEFL, which is Test of English as a Foreign Language. And these are some of the language tests which you might be a requirement depending with the school which you are going to. You have narrowed down to a school which you are interested. Say maybe you are interested in the University of Toronto or University of British Columbia or McGill University in Quebec. And now you have to gather the documents before you submit an application. You have to gather the transcript. So transcript it's a detailed record of your education issued by the school which you attended. As from my experience, as for my school, when I went back to school here, my original school has to transfer transcript to the school here. It was done as school to school. It wasn't from them to me to school, no. It was school printed the transcript and posted it to the school here. It didn't come through me. And the school, then like I was monitoring the application online, then the school just updated my application and said, we received your transcript from this school. I don't know, like it might differ from your school, but this is how my school did it. I'm sharing a personal experience here. You also have to gather your diplomas, your degrees and certificates and put them together. And also you have to do credential evaluation. Now in this case, What they do here in Canada, after you have gathered all your certificates, degrees, you submit them to your school. The school will contact this body. There is a fee to be paid for that, World Educational Services, and you pay to the school, and the school will pay to these people. School will tell you how much you need to pay. I believe 2 years ago or 3 years ago, it was 50 Canadian dollars, which roughly would be like around 195 US. 195 US, 250 Canadian dollars for credential evaluation done by WES, World Educational Services. Some schools will require you to do that. Then also there will be language requirements and the language test. As I said, that you have to do IELTS, International English Language Testing System, or TOEFL, which is Test of English Language as a Foreign Language. Some schools require that, or one which they call Personal Test of English. In Personal Test of English, there will be written test, there will be comprehension test, understanding of English, where you listen to something and answer some questions, and also someone will interview you, asking you questions, to sit down with somebody. It will be done by a Canadian embassy in your country of origin. That's the personal test of English. That someone will sit down with you and have a conversation with that person, and the person will give you a mark. Then if you pass that the overall, what you do, the written, the comprehension, and the personal interview, all that will be marked and you'll be given a grade. And if it is in Quebec, there is also a test called TEF. And also you might require some supplementary materials, like reference letters. And sometimes you'll be required to submit a personal essay. A reference letter will come from your school, or if you're in touch with your professors, you get in touch with your previous professors or school, and then they will write a reference letter. And also some schools will ask you to write a personal essay. When I attended here, myself, I didn't come, as I need to make the point clear. I didn't come as an international student. I came here first after being here for a while. Then I applied to go back to school. I was already a landed immigrant, a permanent resident of Canada, not an international student. But, however, I remember writing a personal essay while I was in school to apply for scholarship. I didn't write a personal essay for admission to school. The admission, I submitted the transcript, the certificates. There was an affidavit. It required an affidavit swearing that I have submitted the authentic and the original documents. And also, but the papers, I had them in my hand. I took them to them, and they did the photocopies of those certificates, diplomas, and whatever I had. And after that, I had to swear that the papers had not been tampered with, they had not been altered in any way. They are the original, they are the authentic papers without any alteration. This is how my school did it. But we will go school by school. As I said, this is an overview on how to apply to universities in Canada as an international student, which is part one. Now you've gathered all that which I've said. You submit an application, and each school has its own deadline on when to submit an application. And that those deadlines, as I understand, as I've briefly researched right now at this stage, they vary from year to year. One school, their deadline is November the 7th. That means if you are applying to be coming to Canada for September next year, you have to have submitted your application by the 7th of November this year, because our school system here starts from September. The first week in Ontario, I don't know other provinces, but at my former school here in Ontario, it's the first Tuesday of September, which can be like around the 5th, the 6th, or the 7th, depending. If you are applying to be coming in September next year, to this other school, the deadline of applying is November this year. You also have to find out the application fees, processing, and other associated fees. As I was saying, like the services of this is $250. When we narrow down, we'll go into the fees, the processing fees, the application fees, the start permit, and all those things in future videos. Some schools you have to submit paper application, and some schools you have to do it online. Some schools you go on their website, you download their form, and you fill it in, you photocopy your certificates and everything. They have to be certified, and you put them together in an envelope and you mail them to them. Some schools you go online, you apply, and you scan your documents and you submit them online. Wait for a decision, which might take a time, 2 to 3 months, depending with the school. Varies from school to school, varies with what they are asking, and it also varies with what you have submitted and what they might be waiting for. I remember when I applied here to go to school, I had to wait for my former school to submit a transcript, which I said didn't come through me. It went from that school to that school without me touching it. But then they went online and they updated that they received a transcript from my former school and everything was okay. And after a while, and then they wrote now, they then updated and said, your application is under evaluation. And after a while, they say, your application has been approved. You have been offered admission. Some programs such as medicine and engineering, certain disciplines of engineering, they are highly competitive. Their applications are closed a little bit early. This is, as I said, this is a general overview on how to apply to universities in Canada as an international student. And we'll be doing more and more videos where we will include all the figures, all the deadline, different schools, and we thank you for watching. I'll ask you for a favor though, so that I bring you future content. I'm going to be doing a series of these videos on how to apply to universities in Canada as an international student. I'm going to ask you to subscribe right now and comment. If you have any questions or anything which you want to know specific, just submit in the comment and then I'll look at it. And I might respond to you directly, or I find that there are many people who are interested in that subject and I might do a video on it. Thank you for watching.